Hey, what's up, everybody? Happy early holidays and whatnot. I missed last week's due to
He was having some technical difficulties, but now he has a new modem, a new router. You went out just a second there, Crap, but go ahead, take it away.
okay. Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, like I still need a new PC though, man. Anybody want to donate something to me? Hook me up. I ain't too proud to beg. I ain't next gen. I can't afford to just drop $12,000 on a PC. But yeah, actually, my new router, they sent me one, and they sent me the same as the old one, which has a cap on there, so it can't go to my whole new speed, right? So they fucked that up, and so now they're sending me another one that should be here tomorrow. It's supposed to be here today, but looks like it's going to be here tomorrow. And we actually have Nancy with us today. She does some kick-ass videos, and that's her mic that's like totally banging all around. What's up, Nancy? Hi. Huh.
This will be one of our better podcasts.
Yes. Oh my gosh, this is going splendid. I'm very excited with how this is going. So anyway, yeah. So I missed last week, so we're still gonna do Xbox Nation tomorrow. Oh, I heard her. Speak up.
What you giggling at, Crap?
No, there you go. Hi. Speak up. Get a little bit closer to your mic. Get all up on it. Because like last week, Mooch was sounding like he was deep throating his mic. I think you need to deep throat your mic a little bit. Yeah, there you go. Get up on there like it's a piece of chocolate. Come on.
I don't know. Maybe my mic's going in and out. I'm sorry. This
there
is
you
my
go.
first podcast. I'm very nervous. So it's been a very long day.
Well, your mic. You definitely need to grab a new mic. You're gonna definitely need to grab a USB mic. But anyway, Mooch, like, I wanted to talk a little bit. Like, this isn't gonna be a super long podcast.
I can't help it.
No, it's all good.
I want to thank you for inviting me to the podcast. I really do appreciate it.
See, now your mic's working fine. Like, I don't know what the hell the deal is, but Mooch, what I wanted to say was.
I will definitely do that, and like I said, if this doesn't work out tonight, I can come back next week. I can grab a mic and come back next week. But I do want to thank you. I mean, I can hang on for a while. Hopefully, the mic will work.
Yeah, see, it's working right now. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand what the problem was earlier, but yeah, just hang in there and then jump in if you get a spot, all right? Because me and Mooch usually kind of riff pretty quick, so if there's something you want to jump in or throw in, just feel free to, okay? I'll take that as a yes. So Mooch, like what I wanted to touch on a little bit was two things tonight. Just kind of just talk a little bit about the media issues. Like you were noticing it today. Like I've noticed it's kind of ramped up towards the holidays. Like I'm not. I'm not sure if it was, if it's some kind of ploy or something, like, because Xbox usually sells extremely well around the holidays. So, but I've been seeing a lot of, kind of anti-Xbox videos, a lot of anti-Xbox articles and things like that from major publications. And we talked a little bit about it on Big Gamer Small Talk, which was about like that video gamer aspect where they were like, "Oh, PS4 is just better. Just don't even buy it."
Yeah, there's a lot of articles that have been coming out lately, Crap. And here's the thing: they're subtle, like kind of attacks against the Microsoft brand. You've got that one article that came out today, why you should be buying a PS4 in 2016. There was another subtle jab by IGN, by their own podcast Unlocked, where they go ahead and they use a title that looks and sounds. You gotta
realize, though, that Video Gamer sucks. Nobody should listen to them.
Well, yeah, Video Gamers pretty much anybody who's an Xbox fan gets blocked by them, so they're almost irrelevant. But the problem is that people in the media put these headlines out on Twitter. They put these things out in news feeds, and the general public doesn't read the entire article. They read the headliner. So what ends up happening is when it says this is why you shouldn't buy an Xbox One, this is why you should buy a PS4, people get kind of like not bullied into it, but they get suckered into it because the casual gamer is who's buying around Christmas time. It's Mr. and Mrs. Jane Doe buying for their kid. They don't know any better. And you're definitely not going to get any kind of Walmart or GameStop employee to say, well, no, Microsoft's actually giving you the game that you came in looking for with a bundled deal. So this is why you have these small jabs. Then you have the executives coming out at Sony and making these great comments in the form of basically the shooters are going to PS4, and we're going to make a stronger PS4 next year. It's all bullshit. It's not true. But the thing is that you keep pounding all these stories over and over again, and the problem is that eventually the media is away. You hear me, Crap?
Yeah, I hear you.
Eventually what happens is that people start to buy into these little tidbits that they start to hear that are coming out daily, if not weekly, from the media. And that's I think that's what you're kind of talking about, is these subtle jabs.
Yeah, the jabs are kind of like, and I saw you like retweeting something earlier today that was similar. It was like kind of taking some jabs at Microsoft, and then it seems like they overhyped some like lame stuff like this Bloodborne DLC like out of nowhere, right? Like this people are typing up DLC like it's something really, really great, and and just as far as I'm concerned, there's really not anything great. I mean, Bloodborne was a game that a lot of people talked about because it scored very well, but it was a very niche product. It did well in Japan and it did okay here. But why talk about, like it's the second coming, you know what I mean? Like it's DLC, you know what I'm saying? For a game that came out way at the beginning of the year. I don't even see.
All we're ever talking about crap right now in the media is they're making a big hullabaloo about the DLC for Bloodborne, and we're still talking about soccer cars. Like, how come we're not talking about Ori and the Blind Forest? How come we're not talking about Scream Ride? Come on, you can't sit there and tell me that soccer cars has been entertaining. Listen, people argue with me quite a bit. You saw the back and forth banter on Twitter, Crap. That's fine. You want to argue with me the first 2-3 months that it was a fun game? Okay, I'll wave the white flag. Now we're going 6 months, 7 months. We're going to go into next year where they keep giving you a different car. One's the DeLorean. One's the General Lee. Who gives a shit what the hell color it is? It's still soccer cars. Yeah. And the fact that it's getting this kind of press is only because it's a PS4 game. That's the only reason it's getting this press. Microsoft's got games that have the same quality, if not better. It's dead. They're not talking about, like I said, where's Ori? Why aren't we talking about the music? Ori, how many nominations does Ori have for the Gaming Awards? One or none?
Yeah, I don't even know. Does it have any?
Soccer Cars is in there for Game of the Year. I mean, I'm exaggerating, but they're in there for something that's ridiculously high.
Soccer Cars is in for Racing Game of the Year.
Racing Game of the Year.
With like Forza 6 and Project Cars and, all that stuff. Like, I don't even get it.
I was going to say, if I worked for Turn 10 and I saw Soccer Cars was in my nomination slot, I'd jump out the window and slit my throat on the way down.
Well, what's funny is last year, Forza
Horizon 2 didn't even make the qualification. I can't remember if they made a nomination. Did they make the nomination last year, Crap?
Forza Horizon 2 made the nomination and it lost to Mario Kart.
Listen, here's the thing. And it's funny because a lot of times all of us do this, but maybe it's the inner child in me. I always give Nintendo a bit of a pass. Like Mario Maker's in there for Game of the Year, I think, this year. Do I think Mario Maker should be in there personally on a professional level? Not really. But, if you want to give Nintendo a tip of the cap because, they always try every year to put their best foot forward. And they do give a lot of first-party games. Whether you like them or not is one thing. But they do put a lot of Mario games out. Listen, they pushed back. We all know they pushed back Zelda and certain other games because they want to hold it for the NX, and that's fine. But Sony to get 4 games out of 5 games for what was it? Most anticipated.
Most anticipated.
Yeah, that's not acceptable. Not when you've got 7 stellar games coming from Xbox One next year.
The main thing is, right? Like, I would more anticipate Zelda than No Man's Sky or some of those other PlayStation games that they have on there, like Last Guardian.
Mm-hmm. No, the only thing is we're not really sure technically because I believe you tell me your opinion, Crap, because you're a big Wii U fan. I own a Wii U, but Zelda may not be coming till 2017 because I think the NX I think they're going to announce it in 2016 and announce it and start selling it early 2017.
If it does, I am slapping Next Gen in the head and telling him I was right. I win, you lose, because I remember saying, and me and you both had that conversation with him where we said, if it comes out, they might announce it in 2016, but it doesn't make sense to release it until 2017.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, and here's the thing: the reason being is Nintendo's going to want to try at its best at this point to push it to the right, only for one reason. There's a lot of rumors. I read something very, very, very in depth 2-3 weeks ago. We talked about it on BGST, and then we got into it again this week. But and Zaire did a video on it too. 2018, 2019 is when the new consoles are coming out.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that a little bit tonight too, because that's very interesting.
And if Nintendo's ready, let's say Nintendo's kind of ready by the end of 2016, they're not going to get a jump start on this generation. So they're going to want to push it and maybe get the jump start, 9 to 12 months before Microsoft, Sony, but not 24 months. That's too much. And what'll happen is they'll do the same mistake that always happens. They'll still be behind the 8 ball with technology.
Let me ask you this. Do you think, look, Nintendo should just stick it out with the Wii U until Microsoft and Sony come out with new consoles, in my opinion.
I can't agree with you more.
Just because they're selling a lot of amiibos and stuff, so crank out those amiibos and do some first-party shit, you know what I'm saying? And then wait to launch your console with the other two, because what exactly like you said is going to happen. They're going to put out something that's going to be maybe a little bit more powerful than what's currently out there, but it's not going to be nearly as powerful as what Microsoft is going to put out next. I have a feeling Microsoft is going crazy balls to the wall with their technology and X console. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the reason I agree with you, Crap, is we sit here every single week and we applaud, even Sony fans applaud Phil Spencer for his gaming knowledge, his know-how, and what he's bringing first-party games to Xbox One. You don't think a true developer, someone who's been developing for over 20 years, truly knows how to build a gaming rig? He's going to put, and he's been getting shit, whether when he was behind Matrick and then when he took the forefront. He's been getting shit for an underpowered system. The one thing that Microsoft won't do, because Microsoft is like the new Apple. Remember when Apple's iPhone 6 bent, even though you had to put like a brick on it to bend it? Then the 6S came out. Now you can put a Mac truck on it and it won't bend. They learn and they move forward. That's the one thing that you always like to see in a company. Microsoft will learn from this. The first-party games will remain the target. And like you said, Crap, they are going to make, as they say on Podcast Unlocked, a beast. They're going to make
beast. They're going to make a beast.
It's going to be a beast.
It's going to be a beast. Yes, I agree. I think that you can just tell, like from Phil Spencer, the way I don't think he likes having, and to be honest, I don't think Satya Nadella likes having the underpowered thing. If you look at what they're doing, look at that. What was that? That Surface Pro tablet or whatever, or that.
It's unbelievably powerful.
Yeah, they have that Surface Pro 4 is unbelievably great and powerful. It's like the most powerful tablet, and then you have that laptop, Surface laptop. That's just it's super powerful.
Their main goal in creating that was to conquer and beat the Apple iPad. They wanted to beat the iPad Pro or whatever they were calling it, and they did that successfully. Now, whether the market is going to adapt to it or not, that's one thing. But see, Microsoft has the ability where Apple doesn't to regain the power in the living room with the console, because Microsoft is going to put their best foot forward for this generation, and they're going to come out with a slew of games. And then when the next console comes out, like we all know this isn't a mooch revelation, okay? This is literally just fact. It's going to be of the same architecture. So yes, I know we've had this debate before. Nobody ever wants to put an extra $300, $400, $500 out of their pocket. But here's the thing. Every game that you currently own on day one, you'll just be able to port right over, not port, but bring right over with you and play just like it was on the Xbox One. So it's no harm, no foul. You're only going to get better games to come. And that goes with anything. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Nowadays, things are designed to actually break in your house. A long time ago, you remember when you think back to when you were a kid, anyone's listening too, when you were 5, 6 years old, your parents used the same blender till you were 26 years old. Okay.
Yeah.
But nowadays, when you go buy a blender for your house or your apartment, when you go to move into a new apartment, people are like, I should pick up another blender. That one doesn't even have the 3 fucking blades in it anymore. It has like 2 blades, something broken.
Yeah.
Ice Cube. So, you know what I mean? So like we're spending $40, $50, $200 every year or two on phones, gadgets in the house. So to say you're going to get 2013, and for people that are late adapters, I don't want to hear any complaints. I really don't want to hear any complaints. You're getting these Xbox Ones and PS4s at $300. We all paid $550. Listen, that's fine. I'm not complaining. I was proud to be a day one adapter. My point.
So was that. You pay more to be a day one adopter. Like people, I remember when they unbundled Kinect, people were like, "Oh my God, they owe me something." I'm like, they don't owe you shit.
Oh, your shit.
That's what happens. You take a risk when you buy something day one, right? I mean, that's just how it is. You buy something, and there's going to be that chance that it's going to go down in price the next day, even. You know what I mean? So I think that people, that's what happens, and not only that. But I agree. I like the generational thing when it was every 5 years or so. You know what I mean? Like, boom, you got new hardware. Last generation was different because, the 360 was great. I'm not going to lie. That thing was like, I said it the other day. That's probably my all-time favorite console. Just look at it. 10 years in, and it's still got Rise of the Tomb Raider that looks really good on it. It's got some really good games. It revolutionized gaming, in my opinion, with the online and the way they updated it, it was the first one with like a Netflix subscription and all that stuff. Right. It's done so much. It's like thousands of games. I think I have close to 500 Xbox 360 games. You know what I mean?
That's impressive, crap.
Yeah, I love it. It's a great console. Again, that's not knocking the Xbox One, but the story's not written on that yet. You know what I mean? I'm not sure that they exactly like that story because that's like a Don Matrick situation. You know what I mean? Like had they just come out with some big powerful console that was sleek and no bullshit about playing used games, I think that they would have done much better. People, like, someone even tweeted me, what should I get? The PS4 is better. And I'm like, wait, the PS4 is not better. Better how? If you ever ask somebody that says, hey, the PS4 is better, why is the PS4 better? They won't really give you an answer. They'll say something probably cheesy like, well, it plays every multi-plat better, which is just a fallacy. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's not exactly, truth.
Well, this guy just got into an argument with me on Twitter about 2 hours ago. He writes me back. First of all, who the hell actually takes the time to remember something or copy and paste something from 2.5 months ago? But that was outstanding. So somebody actually says, hey, Mooch, remember when you said this? And I said, yeah, and I still stand by that. He goes, you were mocking the media for saying that shooters were not going to move over. Watch when Halo comes out. It'll show you that the trend is still, showing Xbox as the leading first-person shooter location. And he pulls up Call of Duty, and I go, well, what are you talking about? And he pulls up an article that basically says that maybe a little less than 1 million more people bought Call of Duty on PS4. I said, that doesn't prove anything. I said, Call of Duty is the generic shooter. I said 6.57, I think, million people. The article, this is his article. I'm not saying these are my facts. This was his article he sent me. He said,
somebody's going to make a video if you're wrong, though.
Right. Well, naturally. Yeah. He said that 6.75 million Call of Duties were sold. I don't know if that was just, how many did they sell in 1 week? Do you know what they sold in the first week, Crap?
I have no idea what they sold. Wasn't it like 6 or 7 million, something like that?
That's what it said. It said 6.75 million sold in the first week. So now I said, wait a minute. I said, buddy, what are you arguing with me for? If you do the simple math with the 400 million, I said even 250,000 consoles coming out in hardware money, it still leaves you with 4.2, 4.3 million Halo 5 sold. He goes, what's your point? I said, you just said to me that 6.75 was total sales over 5 platforms. 1 million maybe was more. That's still divvied up over 5 platforms. This is 4.2 million of a particular shooter on one platform. I said, so where's your argument? You're not even close. No, I told you more people would buy it on PS4. I said, it's a larger install base. What the hell are you talking about? I said, of course, that's not what we're talking. I'm saying generally, if you walk up to somebody who's a first-person shooter, they prefer to play it on the Xbox. And if they don't know, that's fine. This is how it should be set up. You should have a PS4 set up with Call of Duty and then have an Xbox One set up with Call of Duty. Let them go into one room and play it, then go in the other room, and then at the end have them fill out a survey. Because I'm telling you right now, just the controller alone wins it for Xbox. Nobody wants to knuckle bang their thumbs while you're playing a shooter. Just the way it is.
Well, they had come out with a good with that controller just in time. You know what I mean? That thing.
Oh, that was fantastic. Yeah, what a great controller.
Yeah, I've seen my brothers and played with it a little bit, and I think
shame on me. I'm going to make fun of myself here. I've had that thing since day one. I've enjoyed the shit out of it, Crap. But let me tell you something. I've done 0 modifications to it, except I've used the short pull trigger and left LT, right RT there. I've made those short polls for shooting games. Here's the thing: I don't necessarily snipe a lot. I do a little bit in like Destiny, but I may switch out the right analog to the larger one just so that way it gives you a more precise shot for for sniping. But I mean, I'm here's the thing. I said this a lot on the podcast. I guest starred on Foods podcast yesterday. But like I said this, when you go to a fancy restaurant crap and a guy at a 5-star restaurant makes you a beautiful dinner, you don't go and ask them for the salt and pepper. You know what I'm saying? You eat the plate the way it came. And I'm not telling people that they shouldn't do this because if you have options, use them. But the way I am personally with gaming, I like to play the way the developer configured the controls. I want to play the way they intended you to play. Like Dying Light, when you jumped in Dying Light, what? That's the number. It was a parkour game. You jumped for a living in that game, and they made it RB. When I first played that, the first 5 minutes, I said, what the fuck were they thinking? Why wouldn't you make it A or X so I can actually, like that's just what we're used to. But guess what? 10, 15 minutes into the game, I literally said to my buddies who I played that through, I played 58 hours of Dying Light or something like that, 58, 61 hours, I don't remember. Something like I said, wow, the RB literally works. It really works. So, you don't tell a developer who spent 5 years and they're playing that game all day, all night, all day, all night. They did it for a reason. They didn't put it on. Nobody says in a development crew, hey, crap, what do you say we make jump RB and really fuck with everybody? Huh? You know what I mean? Nobody says that. They did it for a reason. So when a chef puts a full stick of butter into a chicken francaise dish or a chicken marsala dish, yes, it's not good for you, but God damn it, it tastes great. And he put it in there for a reason. He didn't do it in there so you'll live to 99. He did it so you'll enjoy the plate for $45. It is what it is.
I know what you're saying. It's like some people like I think I've seen a movie once where these chefs got offended because they didn't want you to use ketchup.
I'll wait for Crap to come back. That's not. We're gonna hold on. Crap. Repeat that again. Crap. You went out. This commercial break is brought to you by the Xbox One Elite controller.
Yes, I'm back.
Say it again, Crap. I'm sorry. It's okay.
I was just saying, it's like I seen a movie once where these guys were pissed off because people wanting to use ketchup on their French fries and they're like gourmet French fries or something. Yeah, so I can totally see that. It's not like to me the Xbox One, and I did a video about it, is far and above. 2 years later. And I think that it's so far ahead of where Sony's at. Like the 2-year mark, like the year 2 is very important because you're building up to what's supposed to be the peak. The 3rd year is the peak, right? That's where you're supposed to get
absolutely
all your good shit. And Microsoft has an exclusive pretty much every month. That to me is the peak. They're revolutionizing stuff. The peak. And then you're going to have stuff like cloud computing, you know what I mean, with Crackdown and things like that. So I think that they're doing things right. You look on the Sony side, I'm not as convinced over there. You know what I mean? Sure, you have Uncharted and Street Fighter 5, but what else is for sure coming out? I mean, it seems to me like they're doing kind of maybe too much of what Microsoft did towards the tail end of the 360, focusing on like gimmicky stuff like VR. Did you see that kitchen game or whatever it is with like, you're in a kitchen with knives or something with that VR crap?
I've seen a few things they've done. I haven't seen that one. Don't do it now, Crap. But if you happen to pass me that along, because a couple people have mentioned it to me, and I haven't gotten a chance to see that crap.
Yeah, it's oh my gosh, it's gonna be funny as hell watching.
I could use a laugh. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Did you see like the game's got to be like 90 frames per second for that to really be effective? And so that means PS2 style graphics. Think about that. Like Sony spent all this generation talking up, graphics and things like that, right? Power. And now their VR is going to have like PS2 style graphics. So I think that that's something that people are going to have to deal with. And do you want to wear crap on your head, to game?
No, that's the whole thing. I don't want to come home and have to wear an astronaut helmet. I mean, that's just not something I want to do. I don't. And listen, here's the thing. I guess in the tech world, VR is the new buzzword. So I'm not going to sit here and say that VR is not something that's going to be used in the future. I do think that with Microsoft with HoloLens and VR with Oculus Rift, are going to be used for a multitude of different things inside the home.
Yeah.
But I don't really think that it's going to be used predominantly in gaming. Think about all the peripherals or the gadgets from the beginning of time. Okay, there was Rob the Robot, the shooter gun. There was the bazooka on SNES that some people probably don't remember. The Power Glove.
The Power Glove,
You know what
which
I mean?
is the biggest gimmicky thing
Right?
ever.
But you know what? As big as a gimmicky thing it is, hypothetically speaking, you use your hands to game. You would have thought that would have been something pretty neat. It was awful. You know, then there was, like I say, there was the bazooka gun. Then we did other things, and we were up to where there's the Kinect. I mean, Sony had the Move, and they've had the Eye, and they've had their failures. The Kinect, which gets the most shit from every media outlet, is the biggest success of all of the add-ons, and that's fine. Listen, thank you, media. Thank you, Sony YouTubers. Because of you alone, we won't have a Kinect next generation, that's for sure. You know, or if they do, they'll literally have it as a much smaller add-on that just takes voice commands, and it'll be something additional, like completely out of the box. It will not come in the box ever again. So, you know, thank you for ruining that literally, that's fine. You don't like Kinect 2.0, that's fine. You don't have to like Kinect 2.0, but it was a fantastic stepping stone for what they had planned for the system, and we're not going to be able to experience that because they're even going to make Cortana now not using it. So
yeah, you can just use a headset or whatever if you want. But like, you know, what's funny is I bought a Kinect for the 360 day one. I didn't think that it was gonna like revolutionize anything, but I like the idea of getting off my ass once in a while and just having fun, like parties with my friends or whatever, you know, like, and it was like when you get people over, especially if you get like girls over or something, they love that Dance Central shit. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? There's a place for that, you know. They like people like the dance and stuff, the party games, you know, your Fruit Ninjas, and you know, like there's a wheelhouse for that. You know, you can play Kinect Sports, it's fun. You know, they kind of dropped the ball by not having any of that stuff at the launch of the Xbox One. It actually works really well. If you know, I have some Kinect games. You know, I think that the Kinect Xbox One works phenomenally well, but they don't really utilize it. And obviously Phil Spencer, I guess, isn't a big as a fan of it. And, you know, they expected to hit like twice, but the problem was not, you know, I was a hardcore guy who bought one on 360, but not a lot of hardcore people really wanted one. You know, it was like a lot of families and stuff because that was like the whole fad. And the same thing's going to happen with VR. Like, did you hear about that? Who was that? That analyst who predicted, what was it, like 70 some million people buying VR by 2017?
What was the number by 2017?
Like 77 million or 72 million or something like that.
Yeah. Again, you know, that number. All right, fine. That you want to, you know, there's a lot of consumers out there, so that's not necessarily a high number, but it depends on what they're going to be able to, what utilization we're going to get out of it. Like when they showed HoloLens, okay, and I'm going to tie this back to Kinect in a second. When they showed HoloLens and they showed the guy in his apartment or his house, and he was able to put that visor on, and his emails, the weather, sports updates, all. I would not mind coming down, putting on a visor, maybe a little smaller than the one, but remember, it is a prototype and it's the first gen of it. Come down, put on something that's like a visor, and get all my information while you're making your cup of coffee, look at everything, blah, 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 this and that, and then take it off. That's fine. And your hands are free the whole time for the most part. With Kinect, okay, I was not a 360 early adapter because I actually, the things that the Xbox One's Kinect 2.0 gave you is what I wanted in the first one. Yeah. And I remember saying to my friend, I go, does it do this? He goes, no. Does it do this? No. Does it do that? No. I wanted it to be able to completely navigate everything crisply. And a lot of people laugh and giggle, well, it doesn't do it crisply, Mooch. I have to talk to it twice. Like I said, I'm a boss where I work. I have to talk to human beings and repeat myself 4 fucking times a day to the same person. So don't tell me that's aggravation to mention it to your Kinect one more time. You know, I mean, I don't understand what like I said, humans can make that many errors. We're smarter than that fucking piece of plastic, as people keep saying. So the Kinect is actually quite impressive. You know, every once and again, I got to repeat myself to it. I'm not going to say it's 100%, but I would say it's probably 90, 85 on a low week. Yeah. You know, accurate. And like I said, think about everybody you work with. How many times you have to repeat yourself? If you were to give the human beings in your office a rating of how many times you have to repeat, they're working at about 50%.
You know,
Yeah.
so it's like give it a break, and it's the second generation. If this wasn't, and I don't think Phil Spencer was necessarily anti-crap. I just think that he came in and he said he locked the door with a couple people he trusted, and he said, "How do we get everybody back?" And one person probably said, "You gotta get rid of the Kinect, Phil." You know, and he was like, "All right, well, here's the thing: we aren't going to get rid of it because." 7 million people at that point, or 10 million people already had it. It was in the box. So he probably said something along the lines of, let's make it so it's literally just a useful add-on, but you have to make it so that people who plug our Xbox One in can do things with a controller. And they did that. The new UI is Kinectless as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I agree 100%, and I think, you're probably right. They probably should have just offered the option from the start. I mean, we could sit there and bitch about that all day, but it was a success. But did you notice, like, one of the things that used to annoy the hell out of me with the original Kinect and even with the newer Kinect, when people review Kinect games, they don't play them right. I'm wondering if they're going to actually take the time to play VR right, because it's more of a Sony thing. Like, if you ever watch people play Kinect games on the 360 or even Xbox One, they flail wildly. You know what I mean? They just, like, they're not really doing how you're supposed to do. It's like calculated, slow movements. That's how you're supposed to do it. And they just didn't do it. And then they're like, oh, it's broken. It doesn't read you. It sucks. You know what I mean? Like, I played that Star Wars game on the 360, the Kinect one, and I thought it was really fun. You know what I mean? Like, you're a freaking jet. I mean, it's cool. It got a lot of hate because, it wasn't like an in-depth game or RPG. You know what I mean? And it had that stupid dancing game that probably shouldn't have been there, right? Like, I'm Han Solo or whatever, right? But I mean, the main thing, like the Jedi stuff, and you could do like the pod racing or the Rancor destruction where you control the Rancor. I thought it was fun. You know what I mean? I played Fable Legends, and it was cool. It was like it had a good story that interacted with all the other stuff. I liked it. Did I always want to freaking play like that? No. But it was like, even with the PS3, I had to move. I bought one early.
Right.
And I played, what the hell is that game? Sorcery. I actually liked that game. You know what I mean? But nobody supported it, So at the end of the day, I think that, unless I definitely don't see no 70-some million people buying VR.
No.
You know what I mean?
Not that early, and not that early. You say by 2017, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's way too early in the life cycle. I mean, let's put it this way. I think there was an article I read that said now we're up to 70% or something, or 80% of people with smartphones. It took this long for the random casual customer. And when I say that, it's usually the older crowd that takes a long time to conform. So what VR has planned for you to use in your house, that's going to take a long time for people in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s to want to go purchase something like that and put something on their head. They don't even want to email, So it's like, we're at the point where I never forget, dude. I was like, of course, I mean, we don't see eye to eye on this crap, but it's okay. I'm being general here. I was a huge iPhone person. I got the first one when it first came out, and people in my office were like, "That's never gonna fly." Now, not for the reasons you think. They were like, "I need a keyboard." Everybody was using the flip. Remember the phone that was you talk with it straight up and then it would flip up and a keyboard was underneath it? They were like, dude, I got fat thumbs. There's no way that's going to work. I can't use that little screen you got there. That's not going to, I make mistakes. I go, you don't understand. It learns like the first week. Yeah. But then as you keep on typing you do type. It's amazing. It's not that it's that smart. I think it's that we're that dumb. We use the same fucking words all the time. When you talk to someone, that's why when you text me or I text you, I know if it's you or not because you use certain words in your text. People say to me all the time when I write them a text, they're like, Mooch, I know that's you talking. I can fucking hear you as I read this shit. You know what I mean? Like, we use the same words, and the computer can pick up on that. If we could pick up with it with our eyes, it's like, but people said that would never catch on, and it's just catching on really now. Now's the time. If you ever go to AT&T or Verizon or you go anywhere, look and see that. You'll see a lot of older folks, and when I say older, I mean 67 plus are in there getting their iPhones or their Samsungs or their Microsoft phones because they're sitting there and they're like, well, it's about time. Everybody's texting. I just have to get in on it. You know what I mean? Everyone's waving the white flag because that's where we're going. And the problem is all that shit that Microsoft took in 2013 for DRM and this and that, Sony's advertising it. They're going to give you PS2 emulation on software. Well, you can't even put the disc in. You have to buy the game again, and then you don't even own it. They own it. It's DRM. Everything you said, I want to go up and knock every fucking person at IGN out in the mouth, because every one of them was like, we're not ready for that. How could Microsoft do something like that? How dare they put DRM on it? I have discs. I like to use them. And now they're like, I don't know about you guys, but I can't wait to play fucking Wrath of the Dragon on PS2 games. What? Who are you? And where's the guy who was talking shit 2 years ago? So there's just this ridiculousness and this hypocrisy. And that's what I was saying. When I saw the Xbox launch, they didn't have to show me games. It's called Xbox One. I knew games were coming. I knew I was going to get a Gears. I knew I was going to get a Halo. I didn't need to see that. When Yosef Mehdi got up there and everyone makes fun of it, oh, the Price is Right's up there. I was fucking like, Showcase Showdown. I won both prizes. I was like, fuck yes, I can actually tell this thing to Snap TV. I did it the other night. I was playing some Star Wars Battlefront with my son, and I was watching the Sunday Night Football game. I'm sorry that I like to do more things than just play Wrath of the Dragon on my PS4. Like, I like PS4. It's simple. I plug it in, I put a game in, and I eat, and I just sit there and I play my game. That's like you saying, I go in the kitchen, I made myself a peanut butter and jelly because I don't want to make anything more complicated. I sat in the corner and I ate it. What the fuck is wrong with you? You can't read while you eat? You can't fucking make a steak? You can't start a barbecue? No. I need to eat. I need to have that one service. I have to eat peanut butter, jelly, and milk. And I mean, listen, when people say things like that, I almost think as a human race, we're taking a step backwards. When you tell me that's all you want to do, we just did that for 8 years, crap. Now you're telling me I'm going to just take a gaming system, put the disc in it, and stare it in the corner. I want to do more things with it. So thanks to Microsoft for being, ingenuitive.
Well, what the funny thing is about Sony's thing, is how the media kind of spun it. Like, I was watching something, it was like Machinima's headline for their YouTube thing was PS4 to get backwards compatibility. It didn't say anything about PS2 backwards compatibility or that you got to pay for it again. It's just PS4 gets backwards compatibility. You know what I mean? And people are like, oh my God, losing their shit over it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand that. It's like,
when Microsoft announced backwards compatibility, there was many articles that said, but only 100 games, guys. Only 100. But then, like you said, Sony confirmed. That's all I kept saying all week last week. Confirmed. Sony's getting backwards compatibility. No, they're not. They're getting a software emulation, which is what Microsoft has, but Microsoft has that and then some. And they're also only have 4 titles. Those 4 Star Wars games that they came out with or something. That's all they've really got right now. And they're like, well, either one of two things. Either Sony is scared to talk about it because they're not going to be able to offer what Microsoft is actually doing, or they're waiting to make a big reveal at E3. Listen, sorry, but the cat's out of the bag, buddy. I don't care if you have 100 PS2 games. Nobody wants to come home in 2015, 2016. It'll be 2016 by the time they announce it, and I get to go home and play fucking Grand Theft Auto 3. I don't want to play Grand Theft Auto 2. No, I don't. And if you're one of those people, one of the 5, like Uncle Pete that we follow, on Twitter, me and Crap, we follow. I'm not gonna say his name, but we call him Uncle Pete. Uncle Pete likes to play games from 1986, but I'm certainly Grumpy Uncle Pete. I mean, Grumpy Uncle Pete will be all over that. But except for him, all the other 2,000 people I know on Twitter, they don't have any interest in playing Grand Theft Auto Vice City. They don't want to play that. Sorry, dude. Are you out of your fucking mind? I mean, that was a long game. Why would I sit there and want to play something that's pixelated and the ocean looks like a fucking blue sheet with that my son just colored in a blue crayon? Who the fuck wants to play? Now, I mean, you may turn around and point the finger at me and go, well, Mooch, what kind of audacity do you have to say that? And you want to play 360 games? Actually, yeah. I guess I can kind of say that I want to play the last 2-3 years of the 360 generation. They were very good. You said it yourself earlier on the show, Crap, that it was a very impressive console.
Splinter Cell, like Blacklist, you know what I mean? All that stuff.
I want to play Alan Wake again.
Yes, Alan Wake. There's a lot of stuff on there that's definitely worthy of playing again. What I'm really excited about, which is, again, if this was Sony doing it, if Sony had backwards compatibility the way Xbox does, and we're offering backwards compatible PS3 games every month, like this month for December, right? Did you see there's going to be 5 games that we're getting? And really ironically, I don't own any of those games. You know what I mean? So for me, it's really cool because I'm going to be able to play some new games. They might not be great games, but the 360 games are backwards compatible, and I think a couple of them have some super easy achievements just from like playing through it. So I'm really excited about that. But like, where's the hype on that? You know what I mean? So in the back of your head, if you're a fan or fanboy or whatever, if you see, if you see these games, and they're backwards compatible, and you're getting all this free stuff. How can you like not be hyped or excited about that? And it's like people aren't as they should be. Like, and these sites aren't talking about it.
Well, here's my question to you, Crap. Have we heard anything about the PS Plus free games for December yet?
No, aren't they doing votes or something on that?
Votes. Who cares? Whatever they want to call it, votes or chopsticks, whatever they're doing is fine. But what I'm saying is like what they don't hear about the PS Plus games anymore because now they're like indies of indies. They're like garage games. Listen, right now for December, everybody, first 2 weeks of December, you're going to get The Incredible Adventures of Van Helsing. Now, I looked that up, okay, and I remember when it came out, but I blew through it because you guys know how I am with games. I'm generally a AAA. I will buy a couple. This is a hell of a game. Plays a lot like a Diablo. It's an overhead shooter. Really nice. It's a free game. It's a $15 value. Here's the real winner. Second half of the month, you're going to get Thief. Personally, it's not my cup of tea. It's not. You know what I mean? It's not.
I agree.
But I'm not going to lie to you. I will be. There's a lot of times I don't download. Most of these games, I didn't download Metal Gear when they gave us the Ground Zero. I didn't download Valiant Hearts. I didn't download Crisis 3. I didn't download Dear God. Now, hear me out.
Thank God. The Dear God was awful.
Dear God's awful. But Thief, I will be getting Thief. It's a AAA game. It's a stealth game. I know my brother likes it, so he'll probably end up getting it. He'll play it if he doesn't already. I think he might actually already own this one. But if I talked him out of it. And but then like literally he'll get that game. We'll both be able to jam out together when he comes over. We hang out during the Christmas holiday. It's just something that we like to do. He likes to play stealth games, and I like to jam out because we were kids. That's what we did. We would pass a remote back and forth and try and play these kind of games together. So that's just it's a great game. Then you also have the Operation Flashpoint, which I think you said that's probably one of the ones that's an easier achievement. But that Van Helsing and Thief, that's a hell of a combo for Xbox.
Well, Van Helsing, game. I was surprised. Van Helsing is an indie game, but it's not a puzzle platformer.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
I was asking my brother. We were talking. He goes, huh? He goes, that game actually looks good. It looks like
it does. Game. It's like Diablo had a kid with Gauntlet. I don't know. Like I think that's a pretty good combination. I like that. I played Diablo 3. I beat it on my Mac. I beat it on 360, and then I beat it twice on Xbox One. I bought that 3 times. Like I really like Diablo. Actually, shame on me. One time I was actually supposed to hook up. I wanted to get with Mike Ibarra is a big fan of it. I was hoping to be able to jam out with him on Xbox One, but he plays on PC all the time. And when I played it on PC, it was when it first came out. And I'm just, as we know, I'm not a console gamer. I'm not a PC gamer. I'm a console dude. I can't sit here. I work at a computer all day long. I'm not going to sit at a computer all day and play games. It's ridiculous. Do I have Crap with me? I'm going to go ahead and try and duck out. Crap. I don't know. I'll try and rejoin. If it's me, we'll find out soon. There he is. He's back.
Hey, Mooch, can you hear me now?
I sure can.
All right, dude. I don't know what the hell happened there.
Yeah, I don't know either. I don't even know when I got cut off to when whatever just happened. I just know you can always tell in your headset when there's still feed coming through, even though it's clear. And then all of a sudden I heard just like dead air, and that dead air is generally a symbol that something was disconnected. So I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, yeah, it was just dead air. I don't fucking get it.
So, well,
I have no idea. Where the hell were we?
That's all right. We're just talking about the games with gold, just where that was going. And I was just shocked that the media really has not mentioned anything about PS Plus. And, that I think because basically Sony is they're done. They're really done, and it sounds so simplistic and childish to say that, but they don't have any games coming for the third Christmas. Next year, their big game is coming out in March. That's a long time to go without anything. And listen, Event Horizon Zero, whatever they're calling that game, if it even comes out, it's a new IP. So Sony doesn't have the advertising money to spend on their own. It's easy for them to advertise Star Wars, right? You put an X-Wing and a guy jumps out of his office window and everyone's like, hey, I love Star Wars. I'll jump out of my window too. And then all of a sudden, you have Taco Bell doing Call of Duty commercials. That's fine because everybody knows what that is. It doesn't take but when you're trying to say only on PlayStation 4, you can be a woman that shoots arrows at a dinosaur that we're calling not a dinosaur. And we're not really sure what else goes on. See you in October. What? It's like, what the fuck was that? Like, nobody gives a shit. Yeah. So, I think it's going to be a hard sell for them. And, they're really in a lot of trouble. So anybody that wants to defend them now, it's funny. I don't argue nearly as much because you can see it's almost like if you watch what is it, Game of Thrones, or you watch anything World War I history, when there was the end of a battle, when the two armies used to just clash in the middle, and then when you got to the end, the generals would be riding their horses, and there'd still be a couple people fighting, and they just walk around and like poke them with a sword. Yeah. Like at this point, Sony is just the few guys running around still like, no, but we got 30 million consoles sold. It's like, whoosh. All right, that's the end of you. Like, there's nobody left. Sony's not doing anything. Your generals are dead. Nothing's happening. PSX is an indie show. E3 is empty promises, and you have VR coming with PlayStation 2 graphics. Congratulations, Sony. What a year. So, I mean, that's...
Hey, I'm 100% agreeing with you. I think that, Sony's, as far as I'm concerned, dead, and they just don't know it, and they're fans. If you look at it, like today, this dude named Wakey was like, oh, I traded in my Xbox copies of these games, and it was like Call of Duty, Black Ops 3, and Battlefront, and he's like, for the better PS4 version, and I was laughing, like, seriously, dude, this is what PlayStation 4 fans are reduced to. You know what I mean? You got to buy multi-platform games that look exactly the same, but they're multiplayer focused, so they're obviously going to run better on Xbox Live. You know, so it's like, they're bored. That's when you could tell they get bored. They start, they start trying to, to have something to play. They need this something to be relevant, and sales ain't doing it. They lost the sales last month, and they'll probably lose this month.
Yeah, absolutely. They definitely will. That's the whole point. And if some reason Sony wins this month, wow, everybody's got to just run to the mirror and stare at themselves and be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Everyone should ask that question. Or remember that. I don't know if you remember this movie. I'm going to date myself here. Run to the window, open it, and be like, what was that thing that guy yelled out? Did you remember that crap? It was an old movie. What the hell is going on? A guy just like screams it at the top of his lungs. Like literally, if Sony wins this month, you have to question yourself and you have to question humanity. Like they're not putting anything out. Like what is it you're buying? I don't even understand.
Well, people were buying Star Wars at a fucking tremendous rate. I don't know. And look,
I don't know
that game is good. Wow. Look, that game is good, right? I like it, but honestly, apparently, from what I've seen and heard, that game is getting traded in at like a tremendous clip, like the hype. I think a lot of people that were like longtime fans are buying that game, like me and like some of my clan members and stuff like that. But I think like if you're a like Call of Duty fan or a Halo fan and just going to that expecting that same kind of hardcore experience, you're not going to be very happy because it's not really for that. They really kind of made it so anybody can jump in and play.
Right. And I mean, I don't know, to be honest with you, I'm not really sure if the consoles, we know that the game sold well, on PlayStation, but I don't know. I don't think people went out in droves to buy the Star Wars Darth Vader sticker. I don't think that was that big of a. I don't think that did as well as people think. I mean, do you have any rough numbers that have come in?
I don't know, but I'm not sure how many even of those consoles they had. You know, like they usually make limited quantities of those. You know, so you maybe think maybe 100,000, maybe 150,000 tops. But then when you look at what's going to happen Black Friday is Xbox usually sells like 1 million. You know what I mean? Just like that day or that weekend alone. So, you know, in the grand scheme of things, if they did, you know, if Sony did manage to sell 100, 150,000 of those consoles, I don't think it's a big deal because look, people are still going to buy Xbox Ones for Black Ops 3. We know for a fact that Black Ops 3 sold very well on the Xbox One. So, you know, I just think that it comes down to, you know, people being smart. Sony advertised both as first-party games, but since Microsoft had advertised so much Call of Duty in the past, people, you know, that's just what they buy Call of Duty for. You know, hey, Call of Duty, Xbox is kind of synonymous. You know what I mean? Like, as far as I'm concerned.
No, I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. And I think that's literally what it boils down to is that Call of Duty still did very well. Microsoft only coming in a few, 800,000 short on those big sales over the course. And we haven't even gotten to Christmas yet or Black Friday. That's going to do very well on Xbox. Microsoft didn't have to spend $80 million on a marketing deal. Who cares about that 800,000? Who gives a shit? They were going to lose that no matter what. Who gives a crap? Like they saved that 80 million to put it into a game we're all going to be able to play in 2016. Hey, Sony fans, guess what? You get to play Call of Duty next year. No, not the new one, the same one, because Sony isn't going to put money into shit. So, look, it is what it is. They're going to get exactly what they paid for. I've said it a million times. When you pull that PS4 out of the box, that's going to be the same PS4 until the day the PS5 comes out. Nothing new will come to that system. Yeah, you're going to get a feature or two. You're going to be able to broadcast YouTube. You'll be able to take a picture of yourself. No, but as far as games and capability of games, what we're getting with cloud computing, DX12, new UI, new this and that, and the UI is going to continue to like evolve. Like that's just this new UI isn't the end of the road. You know that from 360 years. It's going to in 2 years again. It'll be the same frame.
Dude, hell, the 360 is still getting updated UI. I mean, it's more to match the Xbox One now. So I think that's really cool, and I'm looking forward to it because it seems like every week they've done something to the UI of the Xbox One to make it like run faster or run smoother. You know, and it's a work in progress. You know, but I actually like it a lot. You know, I like it. I remember when we first got it. Those big ass tiles, everything was giant. Like you couldn't do anything. I was like, "Holy crap!" And then thankfully they gave us those things to thank us. Those little dog avatars or whatever. I much would have rather had something else, but you know, it is what it is. At least we got something.
Had something else, but like you say, you know, a gift is a gift. Whatever it is, it is. That's fine.
In fact, I think I'm going to probably give away a couple of the codes I got for the Gears of War games because I already had some digitally and physically because they gave them away as games with gold. And sometimes what I'll do is even if I don't want the game, I'll click to download it, then stop the download. That way you still have the file. You know what I mean? You still have the thing on your name showing that you bought that game or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
So yeah, so you can go back and download it if you want. So like I did get like Crysis 3, even though I have it physically as well. Now I have it digitally too. So I like that. Like even though I have all the Gears games physically, when they offered Gears Judgment and Gears, I think 3 and Gears 1 as games for gold, I went ahead and started those downloads and then stopped them, and just so that I had them. So now I can give away those 3 games. I'll probably do that on Twitter in the next day or so. But yeah, I think that's freaking awesome. I mean, I think that's phenomenal. As far as you know, what do you think about like finally these sites like Kotaku? This is kind of what I wanted to close to. Kotaku in a really, really bad spot with being blacklisted. I mean, like I didn't get to talk about it much in BGST, but what do you think about like you know, Microsoft possibly doing something like that with some of these sites that have been like a little heavy-handed? I
think Microsoft can't do that until somebody else bigger than Bethesda does it. And I don't mean that in the wrong way because people are going to wait. What do you mean? Bethesda is actually a large company. They are Microsoft. They're the media. Okay. So even if Microsoft blacklists them, the problem is that they're still going to run dirty ads and they're still going to run bad publication. It's just going to get worse. Kotaku really can't hurt Bethesda at this point because Sony and Microsoft will always back up Bethesda, and now Bethesda has a customer base that's just too big. Microsoft, as we can see from Backlash, Microsoft and Sony both saw what the power the gaming media has, and that's why you have Mitch Dyer and Ryan McCaffrey and Destin Legary, all of them together. If they held each other and we like sprayed them with a fucking fire hose, they'd weigh like 8 pounds. You know, you take those kinds of guys, they walk around, they get these fucking keyboard muscles. They think they're tough. They think it's not because they saw the power they have. You know, they walk around E3 like their shit don't stink. They're like, fuck that. Logo cycle? I'm not even going to wait in line for that piece of trash. Right, Dustin? Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Let's go back over to PS4 land. You know, and that's all they keep doing. It's whatever they want to do. They're, you know, it's almost like they smoke cigarettes in the non-smoking section. You know, they're just assholes at this point because they've got that kind of power, you know? And until Microsoft actually has another big company, I don't know, like a Google or another big wig company, Apple, when Apple would be the first one. Tim Cook, I can actually see Tim Cook telling someone, I think he's done it before, but I don't want to say it because I don't remember. I can see Tim Cook telling a publication to go shove it up their ass. And you know what? That publication would actually come crawling back and be like, "No, please, Apple, let us come back to your WWDC you throw every twice a year. We need you. We need you." Microsoft doesn't have that clout. Yes, they're trying to do that. They're trying doing their own show. We'll see if it picks up steam and momentum. I think they did a really good job this year. But Apple's been doing it for almost a decade and a half. They have to do it for much, much more and get the people drooling to come in. Until you get people drooling to come in to see your product, they don't have to. They can just badmouth us. They can badmouth Microsoft, and it hurts them. So I don't think they'll do what Bethesda did, but I do think that I would love to see it, though, Crap. This will go down as one of the most interesting podcasts I've ever done in the year and change I've been doing podcasts. So we'll just wait for Crap to back out and then come back in again. And then he'll probably say, all right, guys, that'll be enough. And we'll see you guys on Xbox Nation. But no, to talk about it a little further until Crap comes back. In all honesty, Bethesda, what they did is just should be commended. It's fantastic. It was great to see a company like them actually take initiative, grab the bull by the horns, and say, you know what, write as much nasty things you want to say about us. We're not going to sit here and take that kind of trash from you. You want to leak dates, you want to leak game footage, you want to talk about things that are not realistically like. I just kept going, Crap, by the way. I was just saying how Bethesda literally took the bull by the horns and did what they wanted to do, and that they should be commended for that. And I wish more people would actually follow suit, but I don't think they actually will. I don't think they actually have the gall or the balls to do something like that. You see games being leaked by the media all the time. There's supposedly non-disclosure agreements in place. Personally, I don't understand how you can sign a formal legal agreement and have no.
Crap. I can't hear shit.
Well, we can hear you. Crap got new internet for anybody who's not keeping up on the life and times of Crap.
Yeah, hey, there it is.
There we go. I kept talking, but
it's not my internet. I don't know what the hell. It's like the Google Hangout keeps like shutting off my.
Well, we were having a hard time with actually, it's funny you say that. When I was on the podcast last night, it was shutting it down on and off. Maybe on that note, Crap, we should call it a night.
Yeah, I think that you're definitely right, and we'll be on Xbox Nation tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern. Hopefully we have a little bit better luck.
Let me do a little shameless plug, Crap.
Go ahead.
Who made it through? I'm not going to give the person any kind of praise or any kind of publicity, but I am debating somebody on the Crossfire. It's going to be a one-on-one show, 6 p.m. on the Mooch78 YouTube channel on Friday night, 6 p.m. Eastern. Somebody who wrote a very long-winded document about everybody that is on BGST, Xbox Nation, myself included. And we're just going to go ahead and debate why this individual feels this way, where he comes up with the goal to do that. And we'll dive into it on Friday night. So anybody who wants to do that. And also there is a Mooch growing up gaming video coming out in the next half an hour. So stay tuned.
Oh, man, you released them things late.
Yeah, I'm going late. We're going late because I know the West Coast feed is they're just getting done eating. So
Oh, hell yeah.
We'll hit West Coast, we'll hit East Coast tonight and early morning.
Oh, I'm absolutely looking forward to that, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow. Thanks, Booch, for joining us,
Absolutely.
and Nancy. Hopefully, she'll get her mic shit straightened out because she's actually pretty hardcore Xbox, and like I know she's been Xbox. If you ever watch any of her channels since like the OG Xbox, so I thought it'd be interesting to get her take on it. But she needs to get a better mic. I already told her that. I was like, get a better mic, and then get in that kitchen and make me a sandwich. No, just kidding.
Now she's gonna take me right where the sun don't.
All right, we'll catch you guys later, man. It's tomorrow night on Xbox Nation with the whole gang, and then we'll wish you guys all happy Thanksgiving and all that good shit. Later, out. Rack 'em up.
Peace.